It is Sunday here at the Heroes of Global Championship. That's right, your Week 3 is coming to a conclusion, but we're going to end it with a pretty big bang as we have some pretty epic matches coming your way. My name is Trixler. Over here to the left, we got Caldor. Caldor, are you watching soccer this morning?
Yep, definitely. I missed the penalty, unfortunately,
Yeah.
but outside of that, the goal of Croatia was insane. Fantastic.
I'm learning the football slowly, and those penalty shots, those look OP, man. Like, they seem to give you free points every time. It's crazy.
They're a little bit OP. Yeah.
They're a little OP. I don't know, man. Let's go ahead and check out our standings here in the HGC as we continue to check in with our teams as they climb the rankings. And right now, Team Dignitas and Team Liquid, undefeated, but that changes today. Both these teams, your number 1, your number 2, that are currently tied up, will be facing off.
And it's going to be a fantastic match here. Dignitas, of course, is still the favorite, especially when you look towards their map score. They have only lost a single map so far in Phase 2. Very impressive, but Team Liquid presented themselves strong in all of the matches that they played, so there is a chance that they are going to tumble the Titans. Dignitas vs Liquid is going to kick us off today, but we have another match for you right after that. Zealots going up against Method, and of course North America to end out the day once again.
Bit of a small grudge match there with Zealots and Method. Bad Bunny facing off against Quacknix, seeing how the teammates who have played in the past together will face off each other on their teams now. Zealots so far have yet to find a win, but maybe today might be that time. And as mentioned, later on, North America coming at you. So our Sunday ends in perfect fashion. Temple Storm versus Team Freedom is going to be a fun one.
Yeah. I like how you dodged the last match.
I did. I'm not touching it.
Endemic versus Sortalis.
The Octopuses. That's what I'm calling them from now on.
Endemic is going to play against the Octopuses. And we have 2-2 actually on both their scores. So this is going to be another one of these games that really matters who is going to take the lead there. But it should be a really cool game to end out the day in North America. But of course, Europe. I mean, we're starting strong and we're going to end strong.
Let's kick off with that bang actually as we check in with Team Dignitas and Team Liquid and see how they feel about the matches coming your way.
Okay, so I think that Dignitas right now is the best team in Europe for sure. They're the most consistent, and I think they have probably the best players. So it's gonna be a very tough fight against them, but I think if we have a good day and we get our drafts, we could upset them. I think that having players which excel at a certain hero helps the drafter a lot. For example, when we played against the Leftovers, they second banned Vikings on, I think, the first map against them. Like, we didn't even plan to pick it, but they were scared of it, so yeah, it helps a lot having players that can play a certain hero very, very well.
Ooh, I mean, okay, to be honest, like in this phase, Team Liquid is really scary. They have actually a really good roster, they draft good, they play annoying stuff, and I actually think we could potentially lose against them, so we need to pay really attention and play at our maximum, and I feel if we just slightly play weaker than usually, I think we can definitely lose. So yeah, Team Liquid can definitely break us, but again, I think as long as we play it good, we will probably make it.
Talking to JPL before we started this match this weekend, he was so excited to face off against Team Liquid. This guy thrives on competition. He likes being pushed to his limits. So you heard that little ooh at the very beginning there because I was like, "How you ready for Team Liquid?" And you just got so excited about the actual matchup coming your way. And I echo those thoughts, man. This is going to be a fun one to watch.
I still think that Team Liquid is going to have a tough time here. They have a chance for sure, but again, the map score is pretty clear on who's the favorite here. Dropping one map compared to the 5 that Team Liquid dropped so far is pretty indicative of what we're probably going to see here. Then again, on the other hand, Team Liquid is a team that really plays towards their opponent too. So every time they go up against a strong opponent, they seem to really step it up. So the competition is something that brings always the best out in them. And that might be enough to take Dignitas down here today. But at this point, Dignitas still looks very dominant.
Well, let's go to game number 1 in this best-of-5 series. Let's go ahead and kick this off and see how exactly it will unfold. First battleground of the day, Infernal Shrines. Dignitas with a choice. Team Liquid will have first pick. Over to the bans. Braxis holdout banned by Dignitas, and BOE taken away for Team Liquid.
Yeah, it's one of those situations where both of the teams traditionally ban the same map. Both of them are used to banning Braxis out, but of course Dignitas has the first ban in this series, so Team Liquid doesn't have to ban it out anymore. So they looked at the maps where Dignitas excels, and there's two to be mentioned. That's Volskaya's Foundry, where they have a 4-0 track record, and it's Battlefield of Eternity with a 3-0. Since Team Liquid themselves are very strong in Volskaya, they didn't ban that, but then they opted to ban out Battlefield of Eternity instead. So a bit of an advantage for Team Liquid when it comes to the map bans, but of course that's going to be reversed when we're heading into part 2 of Phase 2.
Things we'll go ahead and focus on the GOAT Queen. How will she do today? Will Blaze be in the rotation? Team Liquid showed off a little bit more Blaze compared to Dignitas in the past, but it's been one that's been showing up more this weekend.
Urel and Deckard Kane are absolutely insane at this moment. So we have 34 and 37 games played on the two heroes, and both of them are currently sitting at 65 to 68% win rate, which is crazy given the sample size that we have for the two. So they are definitely two of the heroes you have to watch out for. And Deckard Kane played a huge part also yesterday when Leftovers were able to take down Fnatic. So another hero that is just incredibly impactful in these games.
Deckard Kane just sets things up so well. If you're going for a Walmart combo, stay a while. This could be great. If you have dive coming your way, stay a while. This can be great. But also, if you have heroes that have moments where they cannot be interrupted, such as a Phoenix who's trying to go for a teleport away, the Lornado can come in and introduce that small CC to stop him from retreating.
Yeah, Blizzard did a fantastic job of transferring Deckard Kane from the Diablo universe into Heroes of the Storm. He's about as annoying in Heroes as he is in Diablo. When you make him you try to get your item identified, and he just takes forever. He won't shut up. He's just talking the entire time. So they did a great job with that.
Nailed the fantasy. That
Definitely,
is for sure.
they did do that.
Well, speaking about fantasy, we'll see which heroes are going to be banned out, or if we'll have some adjustments here. Team Liquid, wowzer! They come out with a Urel ban, a little bit different compared to the Genji Tracer out there that we've been seeing, but when you think about Dignitas and how much they've been prioritizing Urel, it makes sense.
Now, one of the things that I want to see from Team Liquid, I'm curious if today they are going into some kind of draft where we all of a sudden see maybe the Vikings again, or some hero pick that you might not quite expect. They were a bit more... They experiment a little bit more than other teams, and that's actually something we could see here. It is Infernal Shrine, so Diablo rises in priority for both of the teams here. Team Liquid with an immediate pick on him. We've actually seen a preference for tanks or supports at this point. Very rarely do you see an assassin picked early on outside the Tracer and Genji setup. And Tracer is actually still available, so Dignitas, if they opt to go for Tracer, it would take a bit away from their Shrine clear capabilities, but it would still be a strong hero. But Tracer, of course, shines a bit more on other maps. On Infernal, we have still seen her played, but it's a map where you always question the pick of it.
Yeah, especially with Diablo being picked up. First off, you have a hard time clearing out the shrine, but then suddenly you're in a position where if you are trying to clear shrines, you're near walls and you might get caught out as Tracer. And Diablo used to be one of the main things that you would go for if you were trying to shut down a Tracer player. And now, of course, in the past, you're able to do a little bit more damage, but that idea of locking down a target with a point-and-click stun against a wall, it's always a strong one to have. So Team Dignitas needs to consider that. They decided to move into the Tassadar, and they'll grab Leoric as their second pick.
Tassadar and Leoric, so we're going to have a double support setup for Dignitas. And we've seen a lot of that being run on Volskaya, but teams are really starting to opt more into the Tassadar double support on a variety of maps. Fnatic tried the same thing just yesterday. Didn't work out, not at all, against Leftovers. But Dignitas today with a similar approach here. And an early pick on Leoric, first of all, because the drain against Diablo is so powerful, and then also you have the double soak on lane, where you have the wave clear that Diablo brings to the table, and you can use the same mechanic then also on the shrines themselves, where you try and get the objective. So wave clear galore for him, and of course a very, very powerful level 20.
Team Liquid thinking about their second and third pickup. When you're playing against a Leoric, you need to consider the idea of maybe going for a blow-up composition. Granted, Tassadar kind of throws a wrench in the plan, but Leo naturally having a smaller health pool, if you're able to lock him down with a Li Ming reset, for instance, you're able to really kind of break down your opponent quickly. So we'll see if that might be the pickup here for Team Liquid, or it could be something to consider later on. For now, they move into Sergeant Hammer and Alex Straza. Alex Straza's actually been a big one on this battleground, even a little bit more so on a few other battlegrounds too. Her ability to bring out that Dragon Queen between and clear out shrines, says we want to own this space, and that is amplified with Sergeant Hammer being paired up with her.
And talking about Sergeant Hammer, this is a hero that Team Liquid has picked more than any other team in Europe. We have seen Team Liquid with 3 games on Sergeant Hammer, and they actually won every single one of them. They played also on this map, of course, against, this is another quick reminder here, against Fnatic, where they played around Fnatic the entire game. So they can only play that control game over the shrine, but the macro game that we see from Team Liquid has been stepped up significantly lately.
Dignitas thinking about their ban here. Anything comes to mind, you can target that soul lane if you want to make sure Leo is in a good favored position. But with Tassadar and Leo set up, there's nothing really that screams out immediately that I need to ban
Blaze?
this out. Yeah, Blaze is a safe one.
Diablo and Blaze was an insanely powerful combination that the Zealots used, so that's something where they might consider banning him out, but it's Junkrat instead, so the outside poke into the shrine is something they are more worried about here.
And something with Disruption. Interesting. Deckard came banned out here for Team Liquid. Now, for other section options that you want to move to for healing, there's still Malfurion up and available if you want to grab that here for Dignitas. Ariel was also something that we saw with Vala, and it can be used, but Malfurion seems to be the front runner as someone that you want to pair with Tassadar, especially if you're going for a Vala.
Yeah, even Rhaegar could be considered here, but with Team Dignitas, you would expect Malfurion to be chosen. We've seen Zelia with a high priority on Malfurion and Deckard Cain. Deckard Cain is banned out, so Malfurion would be the go-to choice. Then again, if you go into Rhaegar, you have a bit more clear on the shrine, so if you're really worried about that, depending on your setup, they have already a lot of good wave clear, but if that's a concern that they have, or where they think, okay, we need to put something else in where we also have that burst heal, then they could go into Rhaegar, but Malfurion would still be what you would expect here.
And just for the sake of discussion, Karazim has also been a focus for Zelia lately. I do feel like it's way too difficult to pull off against Sergeant Hammer and Diablo, the knockback from Alex Straza. Sure, you'll have a little bit of mobility, but want to make sure that your assassin is nice and clean up, so I prefer that Malfurion coming out here for Dignitas. We'll see what they're going to pick up. They go into Murden and Tracer, so we'll have the support later on, and the Malf actually pairs well with Tracer. And
Yeah,
they'll get it.
Another in the spot where we talked about it earlier, the Tracer option that was available since Urel was banned out over Tracer, so Dignitas banned Genji, and Tracer doesn't give you the same wave clear that Bala does if you're trying to play a double support setup with her, so you can't really dominate the shrines as significantly, but Tracer herself, of course, has the ability to just jump into that backline and dish out the damage, so she's a lot more dangerous when it comes to the threat that she imposes on the heroes on the other side, so that's something they're going to try to use to just get these kills. And they have a lot of wave clear between Tassadar and Leoric already, but the Murden and Tracer rotation is definitely lacking some of that.
Team Liquid will be looking to continue to hold their foundation down. You mentioned the Blaze earlier. I really like the Blaze here. I keep having that Malthael always coming to my head, but Malthael hasn't been touched in Europe in forever. But I always feel like he's an option that's going to pop out at some point. I don't know why I love him so much, but lately, he's been one that I enjoy. There's the Phoenix and there's the Blaze.
You're going to pull one of those moves where you're going to talk about we're not done, boys.
We're not
I
done.
mean, I'm happy that you put me on the full
They
signal,
draft
but
Kaldor as
but
a
we're not
pick.
done yet. They
Auto
draft
select.
Kaldor, they go random.
Oh, Abathur, wow.
Josh is getting too excited
He
about
slipped
this
my
game.
mind.
I can totally understand that Josh is getting this excited about the game. He's immediately switching
Let's
back
go
into the
into
draft.
it.
He's like, let's go, boys. And I agree. I'm excited too. But Josh,
We need 5
you need
heroes
to calm
for a
down a
team.
little bit. We still need 5. We know Dignitas is strong, but we can't just simply let them play with 4 versus 5 heroes. That would be a bit too much. It's an interesting idea, though. Handicaps and Heroes of the Storm.
Yeah, 45.
It's a good thought, Josh. We're gonna talk
For
about
the
it.
#1 seed, you can only play with 4 heroes until you lose a match. I like it. Abathur for the 5th pick here. So running the Soul Sport Abathur. Granted, you have a Tassadar to help you out a little bit with shields, and that will be on Tracer most of the time here. But looking like Dignitas wants to take this battleground into small skirmishes, whereas you look over to Team Liquid and they want to own space and control these shrines.
What I could have really seen on the side of Dignitas, against Hammer, you have always the idea... I mean, there's several ways on how you can approach playing against a Hammer composition. But one of the ways is that you attempt to draft a comp that gives you a lot of clear, and so you try to play around Hammer. You never really go into that fight where Hammer can siege up and gets the support. Greymane has been played a few times to play around that and put pressure on structures on other sides of the map to make it more difficult for the opponent's team to really rotate in and defend that, so that you always get value somewhere else. Dignitas doesn't really have that. It's a very aggressive setup in the sense that they can be trying to take team fights, but still sieging up into a Hammer comp is going to be difficult since Hammer is super powerful once secured in a spot, also with Alex Strasser here. And any other team, I would say Team Liquid has this easily.
Yeah.
But Dignitas picked Tracer into Hammer, which is usually exactly the other way around. So they must have a really, really good strategy here.
They're feeling confident. In an early game, you can find those picks that you're looking for, and we'll see if they can pull that off. On the left side, in the blue, Zelia playing Abathur, Wubby on Leoric, Poik on Tracer, Snitch on Tassadar, JPL playing Muradin. It's Team Dignitas.
I'm excited for this one. Dignitas coming in with a plan. It's a bit of a risky maneuver. To the right side, Nurok for Team Liquid on Alex Strasser. Arcana on Phoenix. Eternal on Blaze. We're seeing Sport Billy on Diablo on that front line. Trying to get those stuns in. And Hazops on Sergeant Hammer.
Post 10, Team Liquid is going to give Dignitas some trouble. Lighting Breath, Salvo, Sergeant Hammer stationed up, Alex Strasser bringing in the Cleansing Flame. We've even seen Lifebender buffs as of late. It's starting to get a little bit more popular on the live server. I'm wondering if we're going to see more of that next week.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Blaze to back it up.
I mean, just looking at what Dignitas has here, they don't have the normal support. They're going into an Abathur support instead, and they're complementing this with Tassadar so that his shields can help Tracer out. So Tracer is going to be really empowered. She's going to have the shields from Tassadar, and at the same time then also Abathur with the symbiote able to help out with it. So Dignitas is going to look for kills. They're going to be aggressive with this. They have a lot of damage potential, but they don't have as much sustain. The interesting part is that oftentimes you talk about Sergeant Hammer with the strong auto attacks being a counter, good kill against Diablo here, being a counter against Tracer because she just hits like a tank. But in this setup, Dignitas is very, Snap picked Tracer into that Hammer composition, and they have a lot of confidence into this. So I'm very interested to see how they're going to run it, because Team Liquid has a really nice setup for Shrine Control in particular.
Dignitas has always favored Tracer into unfavorable matchups, it feels like. Even when Varians would be picked before the Tracer, they would still pick into it, or if that was even an option without even having double supports. They've always had Fate and Poik and what he can pull off on the character. So we'll see if they can pull it off. So far they're doing well, as we have another gank attempt here in this top lane. Eternal gets locked down. Here comes the Pulse Bomb. Should be able to get the heal. Looking just fine, and they'll need to back up, because Arcaner, he's dishing out the damage.
Yeah, he definitely does. Getting that splash damage through Phoenix is fantastic. But as I said during the draft, if you would remove the names and I just look at what Dignitas has here, or what the team in blue has, I would say they are going to lose that match against Team Liquid without having much of a chance there. But the thing is, and not because the composition is bad, the composition is actually really powerful. It's just because what they're fighting into and the map that is being played. But Dignitas is a team that always comes in with a plan, and on this first map, they definitely had a strategy. It looked very much like they got the pick they wanted. They started with the Tassadar and Leoric rotation. They had all the options heading into the DPS pick and also their support. And they decided against Malfurion and Tracer. They decided against going into a Rhaegar setup, and they were very adamant about picking that Tracer for Poik. So this is going to be good.
Let's talk about Abathur and why you see him as a solo support sometimes here and there. These two talents that have been picked up, the level 1, the level 4. So first off, moving into the regenerative microbes, so you're getting healing with your Carapace, which is always great with the shields, but the second part is what really brings it together. Sustained Carapace. Now, sure, it lasts 50%, or gets the Carapace's shield up by 40%, but what's great about it is that you can actually cancel the symbiote and you still have the shield there. So if your teammates are able to grab those shields, you can bounce around and constantly provide healing, so you win in small skirmishes. You don't want early team fights that are full 5-on-5 brawl. And you're seeing that from Team Dignitas. They're looking for small fights, they move in a Pulse Bomb, try to get a kill, and they back up right away to be able to get the healing benefits that you get from Abathur.
Yeah, depending on the map and composition, there's basically 3 builds on Abathur right now, but this is the most dominant one. You can go into a symbiote build if you're trying to empower a very aggressive melee assassin. When Illidan was in play, that was the go-to build for him, and there are certain toxic nest variations that you can also play. The one build that is not played anymore because it just doesn't measure up at all against the remaining ones is the Locust build.
Yeah.
That build just doesn't really give you any value. But if we're talking about all of those builds, it's still noteworthy that in like 90% of the games you will see the Carapace build that we are seeing executed here. It's just the most powerful by now, and it really complements basically any composition that you can possibly think of. It's
Yep.
an insanely great build if you know how to play Abathur, and especially, of course, that late game is strong where you have then also more of a macro impact on the game.
That Locust build getting nerfed, and then also with Silencers being so strong in wave clear, you just never get any traction moving with it. Alright, so as we head into the Shrine phase, Team Dignitas isn't really fighting too much over the Shrine. They've poked a little bit, taken a few minions, but what they try to pull off is grab a little bit more experience. They jump up to 7.25, but Team Liquid should be able to mitigate that by pushing top.
It brings us back to the original point. What Dignitas was doing here, they realized simply they cannot win the Shrine, so they found experience on the other side of the map and gave the Shrine up. And it comes back to these compositions. It's difficult for Dignitas to find these on-point battles on a Shrine, and Liquid therefore didn't even have to pop Dragon Queen. Nuro can now use that to break through that wall, since Liquid is trying to maximize the impact they have with the first Punisher in the game.
They get through the entire gate, they get a couple turrets too, and even a little bit of damage on the fort, but nothing additional as they handle Sergeant Hammer on the sidelines and continue soaking up, especially with Leo and Abathur pushing them out. Wubby already getting a nice little lead here in the bottom lane, being able to clear that out with that Neil Peasants pickup at level 4.
Dignitas is so far doing well. They are still ahead in experience. You have these rotations happening. My question is simply what happens once that we are scaling into the later stages of the game and Dignitas is forced to fight over an objective. They have a strong engage with Leoric and Muradin, especially when Abathur helps out. The two of them can really go deep, but you have also a lot of defensive tools for Team Liquid where they can drop a bunker to save Sergeant Hammer. You still have Diablo with a lot of zoning possibilities, just like the talent tree that he has alone, the Shadow Charge and just flipping someone over, going for the domination here, really helps him to keep people away from Hammer. And of course, it's not only Sergeant Hammer, you also have Phoenix in this setup, and Arcana is really strong on all these auto-attack heroes. We've been talking a lot about him ever since he joined Team Liquid and went back into the range damage position. So it's going to be pretty difficult for Poik in particular. Tracer is going to have a lot of pressure on her whenever she goes in deep.
Something that he's used to, but definitely something difficult to deal with. Team Dignitas did make a cool little maneuver here in the top right corner. They actually grabbed the Night Camp away from their opponents. Now, they're not going to get too much out of it, as Blaze should be able to clear that up, especially with the minions en route to clear them up.
Yep.
But the idea behind it is now your opponent doesn't have that option available to you for that next Shrine phase. And if you're able to grab your Merc Camp in the top left corner, get that heading in the top lane, usually you can't have that equalized without a hero staying up there. And if they can keep a hero up in that top lane, clearing out that Merc Camp on the next Shrine, they can try to force a fight. Get that 5v4, especially with Ultimate Evolution coming online.
Yeah, Tracer now trying to also clear the camp at the bottom left. It's going to take quite some time for her. 10 is in for Dignitas, and of course we're going to see that in time for Liquid as well before the Shrine spawns. So both of them still neck on neck when it comes to experience. And Hammer not taking the heroic ability just yet. Now we've seen both variations. These days Orbital is a lot more prevalent, I would say. Especially on the Team Liquid side, we have seen actually really nice combos from Team Liquid. Not really a potential play for them here, but we've seen pretty nice Hanzo arrows straight into a BFG. So there's definitely good damage potential on a Shrine, and Hanzo opts for the BFG again.
And the good thing, too, is that when a salvo pops off and your opponents are running away, you have vision of them taking that damage, so you can get an idea of whether or not they're going to be picked off and line up your shot for the BFG to get a kill. So Team Liquid, now with the salvo BFG Lightning Breath combination that we're looking for, a Cleansing Flame to help out, they will prepare for this next Shrine phase. First off, they have to deal with the top Merc Camp that's pushing in, that Dignitas sends in. So Dig may be able to set up for a kill, and they're trying to. They come in, JPL leading the charge with Snitch here and Tracer.
Yeah, good damage by Eternal, just barely able to get the stun in, but he needs to be careful here. Nice Entomb! Fantastic Entomb by Wubby. Zones him out completely, and Eternal is now about to fall, but gets away. Here comes the bomb, and Eternal is still alive. Fantastic play by him, but it also forced Norok to pop his heroic ability to keep him alive there. So another cooldown burned on both sides. Archon was used as well, but that is now giving Dignitas a bit of a better start into the Shrine itself as they rotated quicker, and they also have more resources available.
But Dignitas still has the Ultimate Evolution. That will help them decide if they want to force a fight. Murden taking a little bit of damage here on the left side with Thurnal in the front line. Immediately, you have that Salva come out from Arcana, and they actually soften up that back line pretty darn well. They're going to start healing up, but Dignitas has a 20-11 lead in the Shrine, but Team Liquid wants to fight.
Dignitas also, Team Liquid has still Dragon Queen available if I'm not mistaken. That should still be up for Norok.
There it is. Zelia goes straight forward, puts damage on that back line, trying to buy some space. 3 come back to deal with him. The rest of Team Dignitas grabs what they can. 28-29. The Shrine control, however, starts to really favor Team Liquid.
Exactly, and that's what this draft is all about. Establishing that position. You have Bunker, you have Sergeant Hammer, and you have a Dragon Queen. So they are going to grab another Punisher. And again, I want to just put this into a bit of a perspective here, because Team Liquid started into this Shrine phase, first of all, from behind. They were behind in minion stacks, and also they had used more resources previously in a little bit of a skirmish at the top lane than Team Dignitas, so they had less cooldowns available to them. So Liquid is doing really well in this. One of the main reasons why Dignitas even still had an experience is that Abathur factor that we've been highlighting several times.
Abathur in the top lane, currently body soaking, while Team Liquid commits all 5 to the bottom of the lane. They want this fort, and they will get it. There's the fort, even looking to put some damage on JPL, who falls down to half health. Snitch will be there to lend him some aid and, of course, keep him alive. But Team Liquid putting up a fight, equalizing experience right now, and not getting caught by Team Dignitas and their tricks.
To be honest, Dignitas still had an experience. It's small, but it's there, and that Team Liquid won 2 objectives and still haven't taken the lead in XP is pretty telling of the effect that Abathur has here. So Dignitas is doing extremely well with this, and Zelia is soaking wherever he can. He's using the body soak that he has, keeping his own body in range, and then also, of course, the symbiote soak on top of that. So he's doing extremely well with that. Early level 13 here. Bit of an exchange in cooldowns again, but Liquid has to be careful since they don't have the talent yet.
An attempt to blow up Tracer. Not fully getting that stun from Eternal. Doesn't matter, looks like Tracer would have been able to get out. JPL jumps in, gonna have the circle of healing going down right away for Team Liquid. Salvo connects and Poit takes some damage, but Snitch is able to give him a shield. They continue to tussle back and forth while Abathur continues to soak in the bottom left.
We don't have a lot of kills in this. It's really just Dignitas darting around Team Liquid looking for opportunities to isolate a hero and take him down. They have great tools for this, of course, with the lockdown that we see from Mirrodin and also the Entomb follow-up that we saw earlier against Blaze. The problem really still remains that Liquid has so many defensive tools. Alex Straza, her ult alone is great in these weird situations that we've seen. And then you have Dragon Queen, where you can create some space. You have also, of course, Sergeant Hammer, another tool for displacement, and Bunker. Dignitas is going to struggle in these later on shrines. But they're doing well so far. Again, that Abathur effect is huge.
I'm trying to think about level 20. Hang on, hold that note. JPL gets engaged upon again. Looks like he should be able to escape. There's no fight going to break out. Level 20s, what is a major strength for our teams? You look over to one side, you see Infinite Archon, you see Hive Mind, you see Tracer with her Get Stuffed. Team Liquid, however, trying to find a kill now here at level 13. They go straight in for Snitch, who gets low on health, has to put himself down on a shield. Lightning Breath trying to secure the kill. Even the Cleansing Flame and the BFG being used, but Snitch able to sidestep 2 and get away. Yeah,
they used nearly everything here, but they broke at least through the wall. But again, keep the experience in mind. Dignitas is still ahead. Dignitas haven't taken down a single fort, and Team Liquid is now pushing into the second one. But there is still a massive lead for Team Dignitas in experience, and it's all about Abathur. That's really the one part that works well for them. My worry, we come back to it again, is what happens when these shrines start to matter more, when the Punisher scales and Dignitas is not able to secure them. But Liquid used a lot of abilities, and they used them late. They will not be ready, or at least some of them will not be ready again for the shrine phase, at least not at the start. They still have the Dragon Queen, or they should have it up in a little bit. But this is one of those situations right now where Team Liquid needs to make sure that they win this one. Because if Dignitas takes this, they will get the level 16 talent, they will push with the Punisher, and they're going to take structures which will propel them forward a lot more in XP.
Team Liquid agrees with you. They're already set up. The shrine has been started. It's going to be an Arcane Punisher, 3-1 already. JPL stepping forward, trying to put some pressure on Hammer, maybe trying to force him to pop his trait and prevent him from being able to have that cleanse available. Salvo will connect. Arcaner gets some damage in, but Team Dignitas deals with it well.
Yeah, also we have BFG ready again. Lightning Breath 2, another great tool for Squad Billy. And here comes the Dragon Queen. Popped immediately as they're starting to go in. Damage. Avatar being used as JPL finds himself in a bit of a pickle. Zelia is about to lose the copy on Abathur. Jumping in again. 16 is so close for Dignitas, but it's not there yet. And they might not get it this shrine.
Drain Hub comes out, Alex Straza with the healing, Arcaner keeping up with pressure on JPL, BFG connects with Poik, who is now low on health. Wubby has to escape away, the bunker has been used to, and Team Liquid takes the shrine. They set out to do so, and they grab it with a control. 16 does hit for Team Dignitas, and they jump up in experience, but Team Liquid, they have the Punisher and can run up the gut.
Liquid's control over shrines is absolutely disgusting. It's one of the best comps that you could possibly draft to control shrines on Inferno. And what Team Dignitas is doing, they play around it with Abathur. That's why they're still ahead in experience, because they're doing so well with that Abathur. So it's actually fantastic from their perspective. Liquid is forced into 5-man roams most of the time, and it's pretty significant here. Them catching all of these waves thanks to Abathur and other heroes that just rotate from lane to lane is incredibly impactful. Even though Dignitas hasn't taken down a fort yet and Team Liquid has eliminated 2, Liquid is still behind in XP.
They had to put Arcane on the top right to deal with the Mercamp that was coming in, which meant it was a 4v5. That's why you see only the fort being grabbed by Team Liquid. Dignitas even threatening the idea of a team fight, forced Hasuops to pop his trait. He had to back away. 16 finally hits though for Team Liquid.
The problem is still the same though. If Dignitas wins a Punisher, they're pretty much winning the game. If they take a Punisher, they are going to start to take down structures. And with structures, I don't even mean turrets, I mean major structures, forts, maybe even a keep wall or a keep itself. And once that happens, Dignitas is going to pick up on all the stationary experience that we still have in the game for them, and that would just catapult them forward. They already have a lead in experience thanks to the global aspect of Abathur. But once they start taking structures too, it would just be way too much for Team Liquid to handle, in my opinion. So Dignitas needs to, or Liquid needs to make sure that Dignitas doesn't win a Punisher, because if that happens, they are going to be in a world of pain.
Team Liquid grabs Mercamp and continues to control the pace of the game. JPL in the front has to deal with Sport Billy, who comes in for another combo. Boy, once again trying to build out that bulk bomb. JPL actually taking a lot of damage here. He's going to need to try and get away here. Has a shield available? No, because the Dimensional Shift is used in the top left corner, and Tracer actually gets taken out.
Tracer got taken out here, and that's another great kill for Liquid, actually, because now they can even think about dominating a bit more of the bot lane. They can start and push in against the keep wall. That's exactly what they're doing. Abathur is still soaking the top, and Dignitas' hope is, of course, to hit an early level 20 here. But with Liquid now taking down these outer turrets, it's going to be a lot more difficult. Whoopi Raid walks in. He's actually going to be in a bit of trouble if they play their cards right here. It's still a 4 versus 5. Tassadar needs to get back here. They go for Hazo, but Hazo is still alive here. And again, Whoopi is low and he falls. Another kill. It was a 4 versus 4 battle even, with Blaze taking the top lane and making sure that Liquid is finally taking a lead in experience.
But they stop Team Liquid from pushing in and breaking that entire keep wall and maybe even putting damage on the keep. And they allow time for Tracer to come back.
Yeah, but I don't even think that matters too much for Liquid, because they got a lot out of this. They got another kill, and they also destroyed some of the wall, and they had still Eternal at the top. So that level lead that existed for Dignitas for so long is now gone. And I think one of the ideas of Dignitas was to try and get that earlier level 20, and at least then win a Punisher and snowball it more from there. And that's not possible for them. And with Leo down, Liquid takes the rotation to the top, takes another fort down, so they destroy all of the outer structures that we see for Dignitas. And if Liquid now takes another shrine, they would be in a great spot. And you look at the heroic abilities, they're all up again. So now they are fighting another even battle with Dignitas, and they have also a chance to take the earlier position on the shrine. And if that works, then Dignitas is going to be in trouble here.
Dignitas is still trying to avoid that fight, though, as they are soaking up the experience in the middle lane, even thinking about putting a little bit of damage on that fort, especially with Wubby on the Orc. And he's already doing so. So if they can get some damage and get one of those forts, one in the middle or one in the bottom, that's where they get that 20 a little bit earlier on Team Liquid. But as mentioned, Shrine activates at the top, and that's a big deal for TL, and they have to give this up.
Yeah, they give this one up. Now, Dignitas was able to take down the top fort, maybe also to Abathur here, but the top fort is gone, so that's some of the static experience eliminated. But yes, for Dignitas, it's about getting a level 20 so that they can deal with the Shrine. So Liquid should get 39 stacks here on the minions, and then think about rotating and grabbing some experience in the middle. They can always complete the Shrine at the top. Not sure if they're really willing to insta-lock down the Punisher here. Yeah, they're at 37, 39. They actually take it right away. They're not even rotating anyone in to try and get experience. They're totally fine against the level 20 here.
Dignitas hits 20 for themselves, though. Now in a spot, Get Stuff comes online. Infinite Archon rewind here for JPL. If he's able to land on any target, a prime one would be Arcaner.
Another big push at the bot lane thanks to Abathur. So he's now able to push the last remaining fort on Liquid's side. But this is now an opportunity for Team Liquid to see how much they can get out of the strength of the Punisher. Jumped in deep, zones out some heroes at least, but we still need to have Liquid in position if they want to push through this. An early bunker already being dropped to anchor the position at the front.
Bunker there. They use double Tracer to try and keep Team Liquid back, and Team Liquid stays away. They watch their distance. Dignitas thinking about chasing, though. They still have that 20. Stormbolt connects. In comes the Buried Alive, and Eternal gets blown up.
Yeah, they're trying to go for JPL, though, and that might just be enough with a salvo. Nah, he's not falling here. And Tassadar is also escaping. A great kill against Blaze. That bunker a bit too early, but of course the Buried Alive would have shut it down anyways. Team Liquid has still a lot of distance back to safety. Whoopi is already trying to wrap around here and slow someone down. Gets also another Wraith Walk in, and that should slow Sportbilly enough so that they might be able to jump in on him. That's exactly what's happening here. If he loses the souls, it would be great for them, but the Dragon Queen comes in, good push away, using the resources, using the cooldowns, and Liquid stays alive for now. No keep lost yet. And there still is a bit of a dominant phase here while they have their level 20s, but Team Liquid is closing in on their own Storm Talons.
That's right. Hellgate coming online for Diablo, possibly BFG here for level 20, that Orbital popping in, Phoenix of Core harder to kill, and then you of course have Alex Raza and Blaze. So Team Liquid with them about to their own 20 here and no keys being down are going to be in a great spot to fight over the next round phase, and it feels like we're getting to a point where that next Punisher that comes in could be game over. Yeah. Luckily for Team Liquid, it will be in the bottom lane, so if Team Dignitas does win this one, there is a fort in the way. Just kidding, Dignitas are removing that now.
A lot of the success of Dignitas is going to hinge on Leoric. Whoopi needs to land that Buried Alive, and then there needs to be a kill. And that puts him into direct competition with Nurok, because Nurok is going to be the one that will try and prevent it. As long as he's not caught by the Entomb, by the Buried Alive, he can try and pop the Dragon Queen and his ult to keep someone alive that has been caught. Blaze, of course, would be fantastic if he could stay outside of the Entomb, because he can always drop the bunker to the side and then help the target to escape. So for Whoopi, it's now a choice, who do I try to catch? And I think they have to try and blow Blaze up before he uses the bunker.
Level 20 on Ruby Wings coming online here for Nurok. So that ability of him using that Cleansing Flame will also activate the Dragon Queen afterwards. So he'll have that ability to save a target like you mentioned, especially if they are entombed. And then comes out of it with the ability to knock away the opposing team in case Team Liquid still isn't doing well.
But again, who do you kill? Because you want to kill Hammer, you want to kill Phoenix, but if the cards are played right by either Nurok or Eternal on Alexstrasza and Blaze, there are tools to deal with that Buried Alive, which usually gives you such a great kill opportunity. So we have not a single keep taken out in this game, but Liquid has dominated every single Shrine phase by a huge margin. And the advantages that Dignitas had, the kills that they got, they all stemmed from their ability to get the lead in experience and to dictate the macro game. And that's something that they're now slowly losing because we're on 20 versus 20 talents. There's nothing to go from here on out. Every level you get gives you a stats advantage, but that's already it.
Team Dignitas may have to consider just trying to kill a tank. Diablo, Blaze, with you have Quantum Spike and then Drain Help available on Leoric, that is definitely a possibility. Still the same issues that you bring up with Nurok keeping him alive, but Team Dignitas does have the burst and ability to clean them up if they can hit that Entomb. Team Liquid already moving towards this bottom lane as they want to set up for the Shrine. Team Dignitas sets up a Merc Camp in the top left corner. Ooh, Archon gets popped. We're going to have a fight here.
Yeah, they're going for it. Already the copy on Zelia, and he's about to lose it here. Lightning Breath being used as well. Buried Alive. They're trying to go in. The copy is gone. JBL has to hop out. Arcana survives for now. Great play by him here, and down goes Leoric. Whoopi is dead, and everybody else is low. That goes for Snitch on Tacita and also Murden. And Team Liquid is moving in to claim another Punisher. You can't fight in these situations. Dignitas has massive problems with this, but Liquid will also have to reply to the top lane pressure that Abathur, together with that camp, is building up.
Sportbilly just straight sent it, picking up the Hellstorm at level 20, which allows Lightning Breath to last 200% longer, able to completely control that choke and make it hard for Dignitas to move in. But, as you just saw, Abathur pushing in this top lane is going straight for a keep.
I actually think Liquid is not retreating. They want to end. They want to end with this. If they don't defend the top lane, that basically says we are going to try and end with a Punisher, because now they lost the keep. So retreating after only taking down a keep would, from their perspective, be giving up a Punisher because they only exchanged on even sides.
When you're playing against an Abathur, you eventually get to this point where you have to decide, okay, it's time to go straight down the middle and try to go for the kill. Team Liquid is deciding this moment is the moment for them to go for that kill. They set up already.
It's an Arcane Punisher.
They put damage on the keep. Arcane Punisher here, looking for the core. Here comes a big Entomb on the back, though. Whoopi finds it.
And there's exactly what we talked about earlier. The kill is there. The bunker is a little bit too late, and that might be all that Dignitas needs here. The keep is going to fall, but can they push it forward more? That's the big question. With Phoenix gone, that is a problem for Liquid.
Ultimate Evolution still available here. Team Dignitas starts to set up. Tracer goes in, trying to get that pulse bomb. Looks for Hostile. If they kill Hostile up, they can win this fight. Team Dignitas continues to focus him. The Cleansing Flame comes out from Nurok, but it's not enough. The Dragon unable to keep the tank alive.
The core is starting to lose some hit points. The question is how many is Liquid gonna lose? Can Dignitas end here? Billy on the way back. Poik moving in again. There's always a turnaround potential that we could see, but Whoopi now with a slows once more. Nurok is trying his best to keep Billy alive, but he's gonna fall eventually. He actually starts to go in to slow them down and sacrifices himself here. Billy keeps himself alive for a bit longer. 88% on the core of Dignitas. Diablo falls, he had the souls, and he is going to come back.
Beliork finds Alexstrasza in a Thermal. Nurok's trying to buy some time here on top of the bunker, but with the gift stuff coming out, Poik goes over and takes out Alexstrasza. 2 down for Team Liquid. Phoenix just now respawning, so they have Diablo and Blaze at home for defense, but Team Dignitas already marching towards the top.
Dignitas really did a great job taking Phoenix down. It was a bit of a misplay from Liquid's side because you could see that they were just not careful enough. They had the bunker and Blaze immediately dropped it. So if Phoenix survives there, they are absolutely golden and they can end. I also am not quite sure if I necessarily agree with the decision to let the top keep go and just go for core here. That might have just been a bit too much, but Dignitas has now an opportunity to push in and they're going to try and do just that. But it's going to be difficult going into Hammer, and Phoenix Arcana is in a great spot here to defend together with
That's
Hostiles.
right. Team Liquid needs to play around Hostiles. They need to buy a little bit of time here. In about 18 seconds, they'll have Dark back on the field, but Team Dignitas is pushing the envelope.
Archon is just so strong right now. Snitch is perfect in situation, and they're just going for it. Dignitas is going in, and Team Liquid will lose game number 1 as Dignitas is victorious.
A fight for every single inch in game number 1, but Team Dignitas is able to secure the mile as they get the win. As Team Liquid makes a big, bold play to grab the Punisher and push them bottom left, but with a quick snipe on Arcaner. Team Liquid's hopes of winning that game fell through the roof.
I'm really torn on that game.
Yeah.
I honestly feel it was really well played from Dignitas. I like what they did there. I liked especially how we had Zelia control so much of the macro game for so long. But I think that's a game that Liquid should have won. I feel Liquid right now is going to be pretty angry. Or maybe not angry, but disappointed. And if they end up winning the series and we have them in the winner's interview, I'm pretty sure that they would echo that they should have won this. They were in a great spot. They took every single Punisher, and then they felt so much pressure through Abathar that they felt forced to go into that fight. I think Unconquered Spirit got procced in the Battle of the Shrine itself, so he didn't have it available when they were moving in. And just letting the keep go, because there was one hero was already dead, right? They got the kill. So they could have made the argument, okay, guys, we can still peel one hero off, defend the top lane, maybe hold back the Punisher a little bit, don't commit to it completely, because Dignitas was already moving out. Dignitas lost one hero. They had 2 extremely low. Tassadar was about to fall. Muradin was about to fall. So Dignitas had to move back. They said, okay, can't win this one. Hands off, we don't take it. At that moment, if you are Liquid, you can peel a hero to the top lane, just back, and just keep the shrine at 39 minions. You wait for the top lane to be cleaned out so that the keep is not going to fall against Abathar in the camp, and then you go back down. You have very little advantage of actually taking that instantly and then trying to move through. The only reason why they did it is because they basically said, hey, we win this game with the Punisher right now, so our keep at the top lane doesn't matter. But I think if they make a bit more of a patient call here, they